Hi students, parents, and guardians. So quarter two, we're beginning a novel unit. We're going to look at George Orwell's Animal Farm. I'm really excited to use this novel. This is one of our required readings for ninth grade this year. So many of your friends who have some of the other language arts teachers, they're also going to be reading this novel. Now, the nice thing about this novel is that we are going to apply and deepen our understanding from the first 9 weeks of the skills that we learned to this particular novel. So we're moving away from looking at short stories and now figuring out how those skills apply throughout an entire work, such as a novel itself. The other nice thing about using this novel, we're going to look at how George Orwell wrote about what he knows, what he experienced during his lifetime, and we're going to see if the things he wrote about are still true today in our society today. So the first thing that you're going to see, every student now has access to this digital ebook that we created. On the right-hand side, you have tabs. So each tab represents a certain section in our digital notebook here for you. And the purpose is that this is like a one-stop shop for you to monitor your due dates, to have access to the assignments, plus a whole bunch of extra goodies. So let's get started with just learning how to navigate through this ebook. So when I click on the next button located at the bottom right of our screen, it's going to take you into our goals. We're looking at this from two different perspectives. One is going to be from the literary goals noted at the box below, and the other is going to be informational goals. We're applying both sides to this novel, since the novel does have a lot of references to a particular historical time period. So we're going to still deepen our understanding of theme. We're going to get into a character analysis with some of the animals on the farm here. We're still continuing with tone and figurative language. We're going to look at the author, George Orwell's point of view. Why did he even write this novel? What was his message? We'll look at how the novel was organized and how maybe it is influencing you or maybe it doesn't. We're also going to be looking at multimedia. So from time to time, we'll be looking at maybe video clips relevant to today, and then see how is it applicable to what we're reading in the novel, written not anytime recent, quite a bit ago. Then on the other side, we're looking at informational text as far as making connections with paired readings of what is true and factual and how he then applied it to the novel. We're going to be looking at the historical time period because writers typically write about what they know, including the time period of what was going on in the world. We'll be looking at some of the vocabulary and how we still use those things today, like propaganda. The author, what he's claiming in his novel. It's a little secret message that as we're reading, we're going to figure out what he's trying to get across to us. And then, of course, we'll be evaluating some of the claims he's making and looking at these claims and applying them to multimedia we see today, such as in maybe debate campaigns or advertisements, ads, commercials, those types of things. So the next thing we're going to look at with our navigation is that top tab titled Calendar. So when you click on Calendar, it's going to take you to this blue section, and you can see it matches the tab color for you. When you click on that next button, it's going to actually give you an outline, and this is a tentative outline, meaning I hope this is what we're going to be doing every day. We're pretty close to our schedule, but you can see for the month of October, I have a blue hyperlink into each one of the days. Now again, I see you guys on the black day, so you'll be able to see essentially where we're going. So for example, on October 27th, we're reading and doing something more with chapter 4. When you click the next button at the bottom of our screen, it's going to take you into our November calendar. And again, you can see where we're working. Now, the 16th is chapter 10, our final chapter of the novel. The 18th is an enrichment activity where most likely you're going to be taking your Oviedo High School English Part 1 exam. And then on the 20th, we're going to dig even deeper and compare the novel to the film itself, where you're going to analyze and compare and contrast the similarities and differences. And ultimately, you decide which one is portrayed to your liking. Was it the novel or the film? When you click on the background information, you'll click that next box. Again, the color coding matches. Background, here's our playlist. It's really important to know where that author is coming from, why he or she wrote the way They did. So we are conducting a lot of different options with background itself. Some are required, as you can see from our screen here, the Ed puzzle, the close reading, looking at allegorical meanings, and then other options in this particular playlist. You choose. Pick the options that work best for you. Does everybody need to do everything the same? No, we all learn very differently. So this is where you are truly going to take that ownership of your learning and pick the tasks that you feel you need to maybe brush up on or you're not quite sure of. That's the purpose here, is for you to recognize what you need, you take it, and you nourish your brain. Then when you click on the tabs, we have a tab for the characters where we're going to really analyze the ins and the outs of the characters. They're not just animals on the farm, but they actually represent historical people. Chapter 1 through 5, when I click on that section, again, the color coding matches with the tab itself. When we click on that next button, this is going to probably be the most important section for you. At the top here in red, I've hyperlinked a PDF of the novel so you always have access to it. And then in our chart, our table here, I've outlined the chapter. If you prefer to listen to the audio, it's linked here for you. The active reading and guided assignment, this is our class lesson and discussion. I've hyperlinked the bookmarks when we're working on those. Each chapter, you're also going to have a 10-question multiple choice open notes, open bookmark quiz. The deep dive, this is where you're getting the majority of your points, and this is where we're taking those skills and standards we learned from quarter one, and now we're going much deeper with those skills. I'm still here to support you, but it's going to ask you to really stretch your mind and to think outside of the box. So again, you can see I've hyperlinked the assignments for you. And then the last column, I feel it's really important, what is our goal for the day? It's noted here for you. And then again, it repeats the same way for chapter 6. When you click on that next button down at the bottom there, you'll see all of the assignments for chapters 6 through 10, that deep dive assignment, and you'll see the bookmarks with the goal again. Next section we have in our digital ebook, the dialectical journal. We're not starting any of these, as noted on our calendar there, until chapter 9 and 10, but this is where you're really taking what you've learned from the novel and you're applying it to go beyond, to look at how it worked in the novel with the historical time period and making connections to maybe you personally or society today. So when you click on that section, you're going to see that I've given you what a dialectical journal is, and that is a typical high school assignment. Maybe you've done some of these in middle school. If so, fantastic. If not, no worries. We have some samples in here for you, and we have some additional practice as well. The informational pairings section, this tab right here, this is where we're going to connect the factual real life information and our novel together. The red section represents our assessment. So when I click that next button, it's not revealed to you yet, but I will give you a hint that there's some sort of digital escape room that you are going to be solving a particular question, and this is what we're going to be using for our Oviedo High School English Part 1 exam. Still using all the skills and the standards we've learned from quarter 1 and quarter 2, but we're going to gamify it a little bit. And then there's some extra goodies in here too that as we're progressing through this particular novel, you'll have opportunities for. So that's it. Take some time. You can locate this in eCampus under our modules for Animal Farm. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoy the novel. It's one of my all-time favorites.